Welcome to Latina Mic Drop, the podcast where you can show up and show out, where bold moves are not only encouraged but the standard. This is where excellence meets simplicity and common sense. I'm Miriam Simon, your host, a leadership coach, author, speaker, a mom of three young adults, a grandma in my 40s, and a spouse to the most beautiful, kind soul on a mission to empower 1 million people to continue to tap into their exponential power. If you're out there building your own family and your own future from scratch, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the stories, strategies, and secrets that can turn your hustle into legacy and peace of mind. Ready to transform your life? Let's get started. After the last week, it is clear that there is a line in the sand. To be real, I was not surprised with the results. As a woman, a person of color, I can resonate with the disappointment, the rejection, the invalidation. I know many of you can too. My entire life until this day, I experienced men being chosen over women or privilege taking over our lives. As a kid, I had to give up my red bike to my younger brother. When I was growing up, I had to give up my love for basketball to give the court to the boys. As a young woman, I was denied the choice of whether I had any more kids by my male doctor, who thought I was too young to make such a decision. I knew what I wanted, and I have since, for the past 22 years, remained with the same choice. I love my son and my two daughters, but I knew what that was for me at that ripe age of 21. I must say here that not all men are the same. There are so many who support us, who step aside and give us the space to be ourselves and respect us. We thank you for all that you do for us as allies. There is, however, a hard pill to swallow to know that we are not yet good enough to lead, regardless of our preparation, education, life experiences, and intentions. Almost 20 years ago, I faced a crossroads, and I feel and know from all the comments and social media posts that many of you are there too. You are checking your surroundings, reviewing who is in your peripheral view, who will remain within your circle, and who will not. So many are showing their values, and we are at a decision making moment as to where our line in the sand is drawn with these relationships. There are acquaintances, friends, and family members that are on the opposite side of our values, our rights, and our well being. I can tell you that I have considered where I am going to go and what am I going to do. Maybe the American dream has been a hoax this entire time. I live well, I am in a committed relationship, I have great children, but regardless of all that, my gender, sexual orientation, and ethnic background could all be the reason I am discriminated against. I've been told various times to go back to my country. Specifically, one time that comes up is when I was walking with my daughter after she had an MRI. She had been sedated, and we were walking slowly across the street from the hospital to get to our car. And someone who thought that we were just being slow decided to tell us, hey, why don't you go back to your country, beep the horn, and kind of like ran that truck all fast next to us. I mean, my daughter couldn't even move. There was no way that she was going to move any quicker than she was. I've been frightened as a kid when my mom or grandma or grandpa would be home before we got out of school because there was an immigration raid in their jobs at the factories, that many of their coworkers were detained, never to be seen again, their kids and families now without their parents. What's ahead of us is unknown, but the way we get through this is together. Not with those who oppose us, but with those who are for us. I wish we could agree to disagree, but to stay in a circle that no longer serves us is just not an option any longer. Now it's not just about our old exes, but the very same people who just can't see us, can't value us. A few years ago, I decided to remain without a parental relationship because regardless of how much I wanted to keep them in my life, I was in pain every single time I came across them. Anytime I visited their home, anytime they were around me, it was just pain, pain, pain. Although it was one of the hardest decisions to make, for me, it was the best decision. I learned to finally accept and honor myself. Since then, I went through a grieving period, but I let go of the habitual pain I endured every time I interacted with them. And actually, since then, my life has catapulted to different places that I never thought I would be able to go to, meaning I trust in myself more. I don't have that negative self talk because I don't have that person criticizing me at every single step that I took or every single place that I went or decision that I needed to make. That critic voice ended up disappearing and dissipating. There are other relationships that are open to accepting us and meeting us and actually learning from us, which I have kept open the doors of communication. Although they would not make the same decision I would, they at least don't deny me the choice to make my choice. And they don't judge me for my choices. I can live my life and my truth surrounded by understanding, open curiosity, and unconditional love. At first, I invited the opposite of what I needed because I was so accustomed to the toxicity that was actually my comfort zone. I seeked chaos, disappointment, and allowed behavior that would help others feel good but hurt me. But the minute I realized this, I stopped allowing it. I set boundaries. I began to ask for what I needed, even though it was not natural for me to do it. But it is a muscle you can build. It takes time. Many of you will be faced with these types of decisions, and because I know that humankind is resourceful, your knowing will guide you. You may be faced with fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what will people say if you don't talk to so and so, the fear of being without them in your lives, the fear of possibly moving on. The one question I ask you to ask yourself is, what is the cost of remaining? What is the cost of continuing to put up with whatever it is that you're going through or that they're putting you through? And of course, think about the safest way to go about this for yourselves and your specific situation. Find a support group, a therapist, and rely on real people that you trust. And like the saying goes, when they show you who they are, believe them. Wherever this path leads us, let's find community. Give yourself grace and give yourself all the time you need to process all that it is and the reality of what is yet to come. When the time comes, let's be prepared. Let's be educated about our choices. Let's hold each other's hands, hold our hearts with care, and lead ourselves with our own light. Thanks for tuning in to Latina Mic Drop. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're building something extraordinary together. If today's episode inspired you, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. For one-on-one coaching and more resources, follow me on your favorite social media platforms at author Miriam Simon or visit my website at Miriam Simon Online. Until next time, keep turning your tattoos into pearls of wisdom and your dreams into reality. Stay strong, stay focused, and let's make history.